Yo, what's up, Giants fam? Welcome to the one and only Giants Brawl Podcast. The Giants fam actually grew a little bit bigger this weekend, guys.
That's
As
always good to hear, man. That's what we love to hear, baby. We want as many more listeners as we could possibly get.
Yeah, well, my girlfriend is pregnant, so no, I'm just kidding. We gained about 60 new followers, man, after we posted a nice little defensive Manscape of the Player award. Who should get it? I mean, we came out with three guys, and I'll let Jules handle this, but we had a nice Twitter poll going on, and when we started, it was between Leonard Williams, James Bradbury, and Blake Martinez, and Blake Martinez wasn't getting no votes.
So Zero, man. I think he had my one.
He had nothing, no votes for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I tweeted directly at him. I'm like, listen, pay this dude some due respect, man. It's Blake Martinez. The second I said that, I got a like tweet from Blake Martinez on Giants Brawl and a one vote for him. So it was Blake Martinez that voted for himself. God bless that dude, man. He knew. I mean, he knows what he brings to the team.
I mean, listen. I tried to promote it as much as I could, man. I had this guy as the tackling machine. I'm out there pumping it up. I was putting tweets on Facebook. I was doing all types of shit. And my man actually finished with the lowest amount of votes. I still feel for him. I felt bad. I still think he got snubbed with the whole Pro Bowl selection. And then he gets snubbed in our poll, man. Well, listen, if anything, that's fire for you, Martinez. You better go out there in 2021 and tear shit up and make the damn Pro Bowl so people recognize, all right? That's it.
If that ain't motivation for you, I don't know what.
Oh, man.
I'll read the tally right now. This is the one we got on Twitter at Giants Brawl. Follow us at Giants Brawl. Shout out to all the new followers and the followers that have been listening. Thank you. We appreciate you. Leonard Williams had 30.4% of the votes. This has had a total of 69 votes on Giants Brawl. You could look it up. Blake Martinez 20.3%. So he's got he got a few friends to vote for him. And the winner by far, James Bradbury, lockdown cornerback, 49.3% of the votes.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Dude, he was a great player. I'm going to pat myself on the back by saying that he was going to be the Manscaped player. And 49.3% is in a three-person race I call that a landslide victory for the board.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much.
Yeah, I saw something on I think on Twitter before. I think it was yesterday actually. I think it was PFF put it out there that since 2018 he has the most passes defensed in the NFL or something like that. Dude just was a bowler. If it wasn't Gettleman that signed him to the Giants, he would have gotten a lot more fanfare than he had. But there's few things better in life than being doubted, rising to the occasion, and making a name for yourself when everybody doubted you. So go shave those big fucking balls, James.
People are noticing, I tell you that, because I mean, Jules, I don't know about you, but do you remember like any passes getting complete to any of the receivers he was dating?
I mean, dude, no, listen. His shutdown numbers were amazing. I think I read some stats on the previous show where it was just like he was like averaging maybe 3 catches against him for under 50 yards. I think something like 38, and then the numbers were insane. The guy made the Pro Bowl. I mean, hands down, like in all honesty, the 3 guys that we selected were probably the best of the 3 on the defensive line, defensive team all around unit rather. And look, every one of them deserved it, right? In a way, but yes, James Bradbury was just, he shut it down, man. Like he literally took on that role as CB1 and man, he just took that to another level. And I'll tell you, Mike, with all, the buzz and getting a whole bunch of new followers coming in and everything else, man, listen for more polls. That's what I think we're going to start doing, especially with other things coming up as far as free agency is concerned and the draft. We're going to start taking things to the poll, man, and really kind of see what everybody's thinking, and then maybe even who knows, maybe with this whole Manscaped thing, we'll start picking who you think Manscaped player of the year is going to be for next year. Right. We'll start doing some preseason predictions on that. So lots of things to come in on the Giants Brawl.
Very good idea, man. Listen, the DMs are open, so if you want to hit me up, if you want to be a guest on the show, we got plenty of time in the off season to have some fans that know a little bit about the Giants, you feel like you want to speak up about it. If you have some balls and you want to get them shaved, come on the show. Maybe get a Manscaped package sent to you, man. Who knows?
That's it. You know what I mean? Like that's the way you're gonna have to go out about earning it, right? You have to like step up, make your views a little bit more public, right? You can reach us on Facebook. We have Giants Brawl at AOL. Like there's so many different ways of getting in touch with us nowadays. So like feel free, man. Just plug it and do it.
Oh yeah, they come knock me on the DMs. They come, say, I did a terrible job of this. Jules, me and our friends that were in a group text, the football genius. He's always got something to say. My other boy got something to say. So there's always we always get criticism, good criticism, though.
Yeah, always good stuff. But like we're always trying to get them to come on the show too. So we encourage them. That's why we'll give them some notoriety, but not too much, because listen, unless you actually come on and put your word out there in public, it really doesn't mean nothing, man. It falls on deaf ears, in my opinion.
Right. I think the guy wanted Peppers as like an honorable mention. Like, John, what do you think about Peppers getting like as a fourth included in that poll? Do you think he would beat out Blake Martinez?
I don't know if it'll beat out Blake Martinez. That's a little extreme. No, Jabril Peppers he's a good player though. I love that he's on the team.
I honestly think like if I put my name on there as like pretend I was a kicker, I probably would have got some kind of percentage or whatever. Maybe I would beat Blake Martinez. Who the hell knows?
Listen, we actually got you drafted one year in a fantasy league when we threw out Mike Traynor as a kicker. It works.
Dude, I know. Somebody bid $2 on me. I'm like, whoever that guy.
It was great just because we said it. Like they just thought it was some kicking out and they didn't hear him yet.
That was pretty good.
That stuff does exist, man. Believe it or not.
My name does sound like a kicker.
Well, and if we're gonna throw out Peppers, look, I could have thrown out Ryan Logan, Tomlinson, right? We could do another side poll and say, all right, it was between Dalvin Tomlinson, Ryan Logan, and Peppers. Who do you like out of those three, right? Like we can start going on that all day, right? I mean, the defensive unit definitely played a lot better than people expected. Especially after that Pittsburgh game. People were just kind of like, this is gonna be a long year, and Pat Graham put it together for us. So. Hats off to that. It's going to be an interesting offseason to see how this defense continues to sort of be shaped and molded, and how everyone's just going to improve when they have a full year of camp and everything ahead of them in the months to come.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
But listen, let's not forget, right? We got to tell everyone, listen, there's time. We always saying it for the holidays. Make sure you get to the Manscaped website. There's so many different things on there. You don't necessarily even have to just get the clippers. The colognes are awesome. We use these products all the time ourselves. The stuff is really good, man. You can go in there, use code BRAWL, and get yourself an extra 20% off of everything they're offering, man. Try it out. It's definitely worth it. I mean, we love it.
Dude, it's fantastic, man. I get this stuff like the lotion to rub on your balls, and then you got the spray on your balls. Like I just got out of the shower like about a couple hours ago. And, I'm putting all that stuff on. I put the Manscaped cologne on. Dude, everything it smells good. Like, everything's good about it. Like, it's legit. It's legit stuff, man. And to get 20% off, and they got so much more on this website, it's really a fantastic.
Just go check it out. See what you find. Like I said, if you want to start out small, buy some of their other products to begin with, and then you'll get hooked like we did.
Yeah, I had to buy a lot more, like, extra products because, I got a big package to work with, so I have to stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever, man. That's Manscaped right there. But I know Jules is itching. Listen, we don't got itches downstairs because we
no. Listen, that's what the scaping is for, right? You keep it clean, you get to go. There should be no itching going on.
But I know you're itching to get at this, the bank.
Oh man, you want to go right to it, huh?
Let's get it out today.
As we like to recap the playoffs here, one of the most interesting games was the second game of the card on Saturday night. It was the Ravens versus the Bills, and we had everything going on with this, right? Did we not? And here we are, where we were literally heads up on this, and a team that just keeps surprising out of Western New York. And look, that's part of the reason, right? To root for them. We're the Giants Brawl, but we're also a New York-based, franchise and everything else. So, yeah, I'd rather keep shit in New York. Like, that's just how I am when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? That's how diehard New York I get. Look, my Giants ain't there. It's not like I'm rooting for the Jets, right? But we did do a little side wager.
Oh, man, you got to travel.
So, yeah, but you go elaborate a little further here.
You got to travel 10 hours to go all the way up to fucking Buffalo. That's fucking New York. I don't know. I don't think so. But that game, let me tell you something. I was so fucking pissed off because Baltimore was my pick to win the fucking Super Bowl. That's how much of a genius I am. So it looked like we were playing like a game of Madden between Baltimore and Buffalo, and you were Buffalo, I was Baltimore, but my controller ran out of batteries for the entire fucking game. Like just fucking throw the ball, do something, any fucking thing, man. It was just a disaster. They kept trying to run. I understand it was a little windy, but Josh Allen with a strong arm, he was throwing it. And then Lamar Jackson, I thought he's coming back. He throws that 101-yard interception.
Oh my God, that was just game over there.
Dude, like before that, just missed field goals by Tucker. He never misses. Right there,
never misses.
Once he missed, I was like, "That's it. I'm just gonna." I opened my fridge. I pulled out like 5 spiked seltzers, and I'm like, I just downed them real quick. I'm like, it's gonna be a long game, man.
Well, quick shout out to that too, though. Bill's Mafia posted something about this guy. His Twitter handle is @NickWright, and that's Nick, and it's WRIGHT, and like all the stuff he was saying about how the Ravens have a better run game, they're gonna run the ball down, and then it's like highlighting how the run got stuffed. Look, not for nothing though. You're right with the Madden shit. That's a perfect example because literally they came out and they just ran the ball like 4 straight times and like for big gains, and I'm sitting there like, oh man. They really are gonna get run over. Like, oh, this is gonna suck, dude. Like, I'm gonna make sure I get really drunk.
I texted
you earlier in the day, but like, man, I'm gonna pump this up and start doing some shots or something. And then, like, it was like you said, like, not only did your battery die, but it was like, well, most people do in Madden, right? When they're playing it, you might try to run the ball, but nobody runs that shit like 20 times, like 25 times. Like, it's impossible. You'll run that shit a few times, and you just start throwing the ball, right? And before you know it, you're in a passing game, and then missing field goals. Justin Tucker missing 2 field goals.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how you feel about it, John, but like I texted like the opening drive when the Ravens were just running the ball down their throats. I texted Jules like, oh, they're gonna wear down that fucking defense. It's a wrap. And then I should have never fucking sent that text, but I probably jinxed the Ravens. I mean, what the fuck? I know, John, you picked fucking the Buffalo too, man. God damn.
Yeah, I got a little bit nervous in the beginning, but it was like a Madden game of 2 people who aren't good at Madden. That's pretty much what it was.
That's why we said it was us.
That's what it was. But it was pretty shocking, man. I mean, listen, the kid's been in the playoffs over and over, but they always say, Lamar Jackson can't win the big game. But going out there, man, and not scoring a touchdown, only getting 3 points, that's pretty rough. I know he didn't. I don't think he finished the game, but yeah, man, 17-3, bro. Bills fucking Mafia, man. They're having a good time over there. 30 years or something like that since the last time they won a playoff game or got to the championship game. It's pretty wild. I felt bad for you, Mike. They lost.
If they go to the Super Bowl, we got to go up to Buffalo and just fucking party. It might be like 18 feet of snow up there, but yo, they're gonna be fucking lighting tables on fire, doing fucking keg stands. We might have to party with those fucking guys.
Bro, someone's gonna die. That's all I know.
Oh yeah, many people are gonna die if Buffalo wins the Super Bowl up there. Are you kidding me? The New York population will decrease by like 5,000 at least. But I want to bet Jules again. I want to go double or nothing with Jules because I already owe him a case of beer. So Buffalo got to play Kansas City, right? Mahomes, his head's like a little wobbly right now.
Got a little neck thing going on. We don't know what's up with that either.
If you're really feeling Buffalo, like I like Kansas City with Mahomes. Do we want to throw a little action, double or nothing on this? You could possibly get 2 cases of beer off me. That's 48 beers. You could drink that probably like a night, but you can
that'll last for the weekend. I mean, listen, I told you that night.
Out there right now.
I was totally down for it. You guys know, everyone that listens to this podcast knows because I said it a few weeks back. That's my pick, right? I said, look, if they're going to climb that ladder and they're going to get all the way there, this is the year to do it. I already got side bets set up where if it does happen, I'm going to have to jump through a table. And I promise you guys, we will post that on YouTube for sure. Definitely on Facebook. You'll find it somewhere, all right? I'll do it. I'll jump through the fucking thing. It's on, all right? And there is that article where I did want to mention this, and I did mention it last week, rather, that Josh Allen did make a promise to Bills Mafia that if he does win the Super Bowl, he's going to jump through not just tables, but like tables with an S at the end there on fire. So you want to talk about how crazy shit is? He's going to be a star quarterback jumping through a fucking table on fire, all right?
There's no way in hell.
It's fun, man. This is like a fun team. Like, right, when your team's out of it, unless it's like an absolute team you fucking despise, like if it was the Eagles or the Cowboys or Washington or some of the other teams in the league, you don't get behind it. But when you have this sort of atmosphere where these guys are having fun and they're talking all this stuff, I mean, heck, the whole Bills Mafia, shout out to them. They gave a donation to Lamar Jackson's like favorite charity after he got hurt and stuff, you know. And then they answered it back. Lamar did the same thing back for Josh Allen's and stuff, you know. There's this excitement there. It's fun. It's new. It's a team that never did it. Like, you want to root for that. You want to get behind that kind of team. I mean, here's KC. They're like dragging feet. In all honesty, if it wasn't for that fumble in the corner of the end zone, I don't know if they beat Cleveland. You know, like, so here they are getting lucky after lucky after lucky. Now Pat Mahomes is 50-50. I mean, he's going to play, but like, you know, you got to have a quarterback like that that's literally played 2 quarters over the last 3 weeks. Like, there's going to be some rust. I don't care how good the dude is. And we don't know if he's even going to be playing at 100%. So like, there's definitely going to be some question marks there. And then on the other side of the field, yes, I know Aaron Rodgers isn't that old, but I feel like it's the old man NFC coming in, you know? And we'll get into more of that talk in a few, but it's like, yeah, why not get behind a team that's exciting? Like, fuck it. Like, they're fun to just root for and watch for the rest of the playoff.
They are. Kansas City hasn't covered in like 7 games now in a row, which is fucking crazy.
And to say that you've won all those games.
Right, and they won.
You know, like, that's kind of questionable too.
Real close. I mean, get back to like what you said about, you know, Josh Allen jumping on tables on fire. There's no fucking way in hell that the Buffalo team is going to let him jump on tables of fire. They're going to throw like a stunt double, or like they're going to throw Gus Edwards in there with a helmet on and say it was fucking Josh Allen. You know what I mean?
Like one of those TikTok videos where it's like really shitty edit, and it's like it's, you see him jump, and then all of a sudden they throw like a dummy through.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those test dummies that go in a car accident.
And like, you can clearly tell it's a dummy, but like, it's so funny, so it's worth it.
You're gonna paint those yellow blue. Crazy.
I mean, listen.
Yeah. He's a contract, bro. Imagine he jumps through a table, gets fucked up, and like kisses away $100 million.
Yeah, I know.
They're gonna end up throwing like Beetlejuice in a Buffalo Bills jersey. You're gonna fucking throw him into a fucking table full of fire.
And of course, with a Josh Allen jersey on, like, they're gonna pick him up and call
Bro, that fan base is so crazy. They probably can find a lookalike that'll jump in there, fucking no problem.
Hell yeah. Listen, if they put up a contest right now that said, look, we need some Josh Allen lookalikes.
Yo,
first of all, it'd be fun. We'd have like 4,000 people lined up, all right?
No,
the lower bowl.
Dude, all of Buffalo looks like Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Holy
Oh, boy, that's great.
So I'm thinking, what do you think, John? Who you take in that game, Kansas City or Buffalo?
I gotta stick with my guns. I picked Kansas City from the beginning, so I'm gonna have to jump on your side of the fence this week, Mike.
Oh shit, that's a sign right there.
Go, I like it.
Yeah, sorry, Jules.
That's all right.
I saw that Mahomes he had some kind of tweaked nerve, and that's why he looked like he just got rocked by somebody. Yeah, he looked like he was a prize fighter in that fight. That was pretty crazy. It was a little scary.
Dude, never hit the ground.
Well, his head hit the ground, but you could just tell something. Oh, it didn't? Oh, I thought it did, but
look at the replay, John. Like, it doesn't, like, his helmet, it never hits the ground, but the way the defensive player, like, you know, comes with a clothesline, like a forearm to the neck, like at full speed. Dude, that it's like getting like choked out. You know what I mean? Like, you get like knocked out for a second and you wake up, you don't know where you are. I don't know if that's really a concussion or not, right? If you just go to sleep for a minute, is that a concussion?
No.
I mean, that's a good
right?
question. No, I would think that's more like of a chokehold, right? Like where you just got like fucking clotheslined off the ring and shit. Yeah.
Right.
From what I understand, a concussion is like a brain bruise, essentially.
Right.
So this sounds like it was. I mean, a tweaked nerve. I never heard someone say a tweaked nerve before. But it definitely shut him down for a second. He was out for a second or two there. You could see his body just pretty much go limp. Yeah. His eyes rolled back of his head, and then obviously couldn't stand up. He was like looked like Bambi out there. But all that being said, if it is a tweaked nerve or whatever it is, if that's something that, you know, a couple days goes by and you're back to 100%, then I think Kansas City's gonna remind people why they're Kansas City.
You know what he looked like? He looked like Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's when they were trying to carry him around on the beach. Like, he looked like him.
They picked him up. He was waving to the crowd. They were just jerking his hand up and down.
Put his arm on the string and shit. Like, hey, Bernie.
Good, don't worry. He's walking off the field, everyone.
By the way, that was one of the best movies ever. They walked around with that dude for like an hour and a half on the beach, like to parties. Everybody's, hey, Bernie, what's up? Like, everybody's on cocaine. It was insane. What a great
the best part is when the body gets laid.
Yeah, I know.
Like they're already like downstairs, like, all right, we're busted. We're gonna call the cops. It's a wrap. And she's like, never been better. Like, what?
Right. She's like the best sex I ever had. I'm like, damn, Bernie. Like, Bernie pop it off like that. Holy shit.
You know, it's funny, all this talk, right? We literally skipped over the first game of Green Bay at the Rams because, like,
it's garbage.
It was no surprise, right? Like the Rams got theirs. They made it somewhat interesting a couple of times, but like Rodgers is in the zone because the reason why I wanted to just kind of touch on that for a moment, because I know, and we're going to get to that game really quickly soon, but I know everybody's going to start jumping on the GOAT. Tom Brady. And I'm gonna get into him in a minute, but the reality is that Rodgers is in the zone, man. You know, look, there's no guarantee that even if either Kansas City or Buffalo wins, that they're gonna go in and win that Super Bowl, right? Because you know this is the second time that Green Bay is in position to have the NFC Championship game. Granted, they didn't host last season, but they are this year. Like you know, you don't have that kind of presence for one of the, if not the best receiver in the NFL, next to maybe DeAndre Hopkins, right, and Devontae Adams. You know, Aaron Jones is running the ball well. Their defense is playing pretty good. You know, they got a lot of things clicking, and they're just kind of quietly going through. But, of course, because on Sunday night's game, and we had to friggin' see, you know, Brady play Breeze for, like, the third time this season. And I don't know, man. It just almost looked like Breeze just wasn't, like, 100% himself. I don't know if it was just the thought of retirement in the back of his head or Mike Thomas not being 100%, but there was just something not right about that Saints team. They didn't look, they looked off all season, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Drew, you know, and like this is just kind of like continued out, and like Brady just got a better number than him. You know, the stupid things I'm seeing about Tom Brady. Oh, last time NFC Championship games, you know, San Fran 16 and over the and Tom Brady, he's got like 15, and it's like, well, he had 14 with the New England Patriots. So let's not forget that team should be mentioned, right? And yes, he got this one in a weird NFC year where he had to literally go through Washington, who was a 7-win team. And then he played the Saints, who beat him twice already this year. I mean, other than that, he beat Atlanta 2 times down the stretch. Carolina, like, bro, it doesn't impress me. I think Green Bay is going to shock people. It's a 3-point spread, but I know we'll get into that later. I'll have some predictions for that later on.
Dude, I mean, John, you want to go and talk about that game?
With the Rams and the Packers?
Yeah, it was kind of garbage, right?
Either one, yeah.
I mean, it was basically one of those games that, you know, you kind of get what you expect. You expect, you know, Rodgers to look like, you know, Aaron Rodgers, and he did. And they just outclassed the Rams. I guess that's pretty much all there is to be said about that.
Dude, Rams no offense.
Yeah, no, they don't, and they're paying their quarterback a lot of money.
Right.
But it was other than like the actual football part of it, you can tell. I think that Breeze knows that he's, you know, maybe a year or two past his usefulness, I guess you can say. You know, he can play here and there. He can show up on a Sunday, but I don't know that. You know, I think he knows that he's not, you know, Drew Brees as we know Drew Brees to be. You could see that he was a little more of a, you know, a husk of himself. And then like after the game, him and Tom Brady are on the field. They're playing ball with their sons and stuff. It was a pretty cool moment, just from like a fan watching him for the last 20 years. Absolutely. You know, since I'm 34, I was a teenager when they first came into the league, and you know, now I got a great fucking beard and, you know, got a couple great ball hairs. Like, you know what I mean? It's pretty wild to see their whole careers like that.
That's true.
Yo, Brady just took that ball real quick, threw it to the kid in the corner of the end zone, like easy pass. Like, I'm like, dude, it's that fucking easy for you, piece of shit. Like,
I mean, listen, as much as I might talk shit about Brady, that's one thing that you can't deny is his longevity, right? I mean, the guy like looks like he could play for another couple of seasons. I know it's starting to catch up a little bit to him, but not really. I mean, so like that is, you know, that's just something that I will give him credit for, besides the fact of all the other things. I mean, look, if he somehow wins the NFC Championship game, all right, whatever.
I mean,
he's the GOAT.
Yeah, he's GOAT, man. That Rams game against like Green Bay, like dude, Green Bay, like with Goff, like with that thumb, like Goff kind of like sucks anyway. Like that offense couldn't keep up with them. You know what I mean? Green Bay,
Right.
like it was tight a little for a little bit, and then Green Bay pulled away because they don't have the offense to keep up. Tampa Bay has the offense to keep up. Sure, it's in Green Bay coming this game, but it is at like in the afternoon. It's the first game, so maybe it's a little bit warmer in Green Bay. And I tell you the way Tampa Bay's playing, and Tom Brady maybe wants to get that really fuck you to Bill Belichick. So it has all that going on. And if Tom Brady goes to the Super Bowl, he doesn't have to win. If he just goes there, I mean the storyline is just unbelievable, man. I mean I'm excited about it. I'm hoping Tom, beats Rodgers, on Sunday.
Oof.
That's what
I mean,
want.
listen, if he was able to pull it off, right, he would have gone further than Joe Montana did, right? Joe Montana took the Chiefs to the AFC Championship game years ago and lost, right, when he was doing it with outside of San Fran. So he would have that added to his whole thing again, of course, right? And I don't even want to get into the whole talking about two different teams and winning Super Bowls. That conversation will come next week if he does win. I don't think it's going to happen, but
Saints defense is better than fucking, Green Bay. Way better.
Yeah.
Still fucking he made the plays, sure. Like it was Tampa Bay's defense that had those picks or whatever. And by the way, I called that in the text group that we were in. I called it right before the fucking play happened twice. I called.
Yeah, I know. I thought I was like, all right, what's it gonna keep happening?
I'm like, am I watching the game in the future, man? I was like, fucking no right there, man. It was crazy. But that's my pick, man. I'm rooting for Tom Brady, man. I want him to get it, man.
So since we spent so much time on this, do you guys want to just get like our predictions for this week out of the way with the spreads and everything? Just do it now, and you want to plug in real quick where people can go to bet and still draft players, and then we know football isn't the only sport in the world, so this keeps going all the time.
Absolutely, man. Play for free for 1 million at DraftKings. DraftKings.com/brawlmilly. There will be. This is their final opportunity because it's the conference finals. So if you're a new player and you make your first time deposit, you will receive a ticket for a free entry into the one of these million contests. So you can win $1 million. Who the hell knows? And if you're outside of New York, which, a lot of people are, except for the people in Buffalo, which is like millions of people lookalikes. Like, talent.
It's still New York, all right?
It's still New York. You can go to DraftKings.com/brawl1K. So your bonus amount is equal to 20% of your deposit amount. You can get that money back. Your bonus funds will be awarded to a play option. So just, if you want to, go on that sports book and, try to win some money outside of New York, man, be our guest. Go on DraftKings. Get that money.
All right, that's it. You heard it there, man. Go play that, play some DraftKings, but to get it in, and I know I kind of shot my mouth, so I'll start off at least with the first game, which is I'm going to go NFC with this one first, is the Bucs and the Packers in a rematch, right? Let's not forget that earlier in the year, the Packers were rolling. They went down to Tampa. They got their asses handed to them by Tampa. They really did, man. Rodgers and Devontae Adams were out of sync. Jones didn't even get really running. I mean, they literally got their asses handed to them. And I kind of think, and that's where part of this is going to come into play, where, you know what, Rodgers ain't like one of those kind of guys that forgets that kind of stuff, right? Like, he's going to hold that in his mind. If everybody wants to get behind Brady and be like, oh, Brady this, Brady that, blah, 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 he's going to beat Brees. Well, what do you think? Rodgers doesn't want a little payback? He's at home. Yes, they get lucky. They didn't have to go through what the Giants did when they were playing in like -6-degree weather in the NFC Championship game against that Packers team, right? But I think it's a revenge game. I like I said, man, look, they destroyed Tennessee on that Sunday night game. They beat the Bears twice down the stretch. They came in and handled the Rams like they were supposed to. No, Brady, sorry. You're going to go home, enjoy the nice weather in Tampa, bro. Like, yeah, I get you used to playing up there. You're going to get beat. And honestly, I don't think it's going to be as enjoyable as a game as people think it's going to be. It's currently a 3-point spread. I think Green Bay covers that shit easily.
Wow.
Easily, okay? I can see them winning by double digits. I could see them winning somewhere in the neighborhood because it'll be fun. It'll be a bit of a shootout. 34-24. Like I'm telling you, they are in the zone. They are going to win. They're going to beat them. You heard it. That's my pick.
Wow. I think we might have to bet this game, Julie. I love Tampa Bay, man, this week. Like Bruce Arians came out. He took like a little shot at New England this week saying like, I just let Tom Brady play and be the coach. Like that's surprising. He just lets him go out, be himself, do what he wants to do, call audibles at the line. And I tell you, man, like the way Tom Brady's been on fire, he's been on fire. And that game against the Saints, a lot of stuff didn't work out, but when he needed a big play, he made the big plays. I tell you, like, I think history's going to repeat itself this year. I think, like, Green Bay is like, they're one of those weird teams where they kind of lose out to these like really good teams. I know they beat these other teams, like Tennessee's not that great on defense. Bears, the Bears. I think this is going to be like a Tampa Bay, like, they're going to run the ball pretty well against Green Bay. I know they're going to pass the ball well, especially with our boy Godwin. I think he's going to light it up with like 2 touchdowns a week. So I think a 28-21 game, Tampa Bay.
28-21. Huh? And don't forget, listen, Mike, you had Tampa Bay losing to the Ravens in the Super Bowl. That was your pick.
Right. I know.
So I mean, like, you gotta kind of stay with Team Tampa, go Tampa, go. I
gotta have them win the whole thing now.
That's it. John,
So
what are your thoughts?
So I picked to start. I said it's going to be the Chiefs versus the Packers in the Super Bowl, but there's a part of me that just enjoys the fact that, I mean, listen, I'm loyal to a fault, right? So everything goes back to the Giants with me. Eli Manning beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. He's the only player ever to do that. The more notches on that belt Tom Brady wears, the more he does, the better it makes the little extra shine it puts on those 2 Lombardi trophies. So for that reason and that reason only, just my dumb loyalty, I think that I think at the very least, I don't think that they're going to cover. So I'm going to pick Tampa anyway, but I feel like I want Tampa to just win the game. I just think the storyline will be so much more fun.
Wow, it looks like both you guys are against me this week, man. I love it. Man, listen, that got me a little nervous, but I'm still all in on my picks, man. Like I said, I don't know, man. I think the reality is going to come out on a couple of things on this weekend. It's going to be a fun Sunday to watch.
Jules, me and John, we didn't really want to say it on air, but we're going to have to let you go. I mean, keep disagreeing with us, buddy.
I mean, listen, somebody's got to do it, right? Like, we can't just keep finding guests to bring in that might be like Dave Gettleman haters and shit like that.
Right. Yeah, they're hard to find, apparently.
Bro, I don't mind just doing a whole episode waxing poetic for an hour and a half about Dave Gettleman. I don't need the guy who doesn't like him.
And listen, look, and more things are going to start to come into play as the months come, as the weeks progress and the months come, right? And we're going to start getting more talks because there's a lot of stuff circulating around that, right? There's certain players that they're saying that they could bring in, and it's just way too early for this discussion, though, right? Look, let's just take a quick look at the NFL draft. That's in April. It's April 29th. We're not even at January 29th yet, all right? So, like, the draft is months off. Obviously, as things get closer, look, not even every single kid has declared. I mean, listen, Justin Fields just declared for the NFL draft the other day. I mean, and it was big hype that he's going to be the number 2 pick, and he just declared. So there's going to be so much of that has to go on first. I mean, one thing that I would recommend for individuals to start, like, kind of focusing in on it, and you can take it with a grain of salt because it is sort of like an all-star game, but it's an all-star game where a lot of these guys are still not getting paid. They're still going to step up. They're still going to try to make a point, and they're going to try to move up in the draft picks. Is the Senior Bowl, and the Senior Bowl falls in perfectly, and I'll talk a little bit more about it next week. You're going to have defense. You have the actual coaches from the NFL that are going to be coaching the game. It's a good thing, and like you'll see guys that maybe weren't that heard. Maybe they were being sort of done as like a 4th or 3rd round pick, and all of a sudden they start having these good Senior Bowl games, and then they step up, and all of a sudden they jump up to that 2nd round. They come out of nowhere, or guys that, weren't looking like they were healthy enough, or maybe they had a, quote unquote, bad attitude, but they were a 1st round, possibility. Or sudden they get around these NFL coaches and personnel, and they realize that the kid is a good guy, and he deserves to be picked with that kind of a high pick. So that's something to tune into because it falls out perfectly. You got a great championship Sunday weekend lined up this week. And then next week, it's off. They tried to squeeze the Pro Bowl in between, and we got the virtual nominations for it. But on Saturday, January 30th, you will be able to watch the Senior Bowl. It's worth the watch. You might as well, tune in and see what it's worth and see some of these names that will be discussed over the next few months because let's face it this way, free agency doesn't even start till March 17th. right? And people are already talking about that. So it's like, yo, man, we got weeks before any of this stuff matters. So let's focus on what it is: championship week, then Senior Bowl, and then of course the big one, the Super Bowl. But that's just some of my thoughts in regards to the offseason and things that'll be coming up on the calendar, so to speak.
Well, you got the dates, fellas. So, like, tune in, man. We got plenty of time. We got more podcasts before, that those dates come out. So you hear our thoughts about that.
We'll be fleshing out these topics on a weekly. You guys, there'll be a lot to talk about.
I mean, it's cool to put like some early predictions in and all that kind of stuff, but man, none of it matters. Like, there's just so much between now and then. I mean, we're not even done with the season. I mean, the NFL literally finishes quote unquote on the February 7th, but doesn't start again until March 17th, when that's when free agency will start again. And you are allowed to speak to them. So, you might question yourself, oh, March 17th, yeah, it's St. Patrick's Day. When it falls on a Wednesday, oh, that's kind of a weird day.
Right.
It's not, because teams are allowed to start contacting these unrestricted free agents 2 days prior, right? So they'll be putting in talks. There'll be tons of rumors circulating, especially that week and weekend leading up to it. So, like, that's when things are going to really, like, start to heat up. Like, probably, like, end of February, beginning of March is when all this stuff is going to start to hit and, like, really become exciting. And then you'll roll right into this, like, free agent signing and then the draft, right? And then we'll be talking about our new members to our teams and how that phases out and who we sign and who we got to keep and who needs to have a contract extended. I mean, that's what it all becomes about. But I'll tell you one guy who's definitely not going to get re-signed to have his contract extended is Corey Coleman. If you haven't heard, which you probably would by the time this podcast airs, my man Corey Coleman got suspended for the first 6 games of the 2021 season for performance-enhancing drug violation. Oh, boy.
Poor Corey. He's not even, like, on an NFL team. How did he get caught? Like, did they just pull him off the street?
Well, I've been telling you that he's still on our practice squad somehow. And I know he's like a free agent and he's like looking to get in. I mean, look, the guy's only 26 years old. But he hasn't played since week 17 in 2018. I mean, it's a sad disappointment because I remember having some excitement when he did come over to the Giants, and him being like a first-round pick or a former first-round pick for the Browns. It brought some excitement there. You're like, wow, maybe here's that guy that we could, get something out of him. This sounds pretty cool. And, all right, cool. And then, he just, unfortunately, with injuries. And, and I think a lot of time is, too, when you have that kind of, expectations leading into a career and then it just doesn't pan out. Yeah, you might get a little desperate, do something you shouldn't have done, listen to the wrong person. You made a mistake, and that's kind of what happens, and this is where he is now.
A lot of people are like that. A lot of guys are like that. They're in the same boat as him, man. Look at what Judge had to deal with early in the year. Like, we had to deal with Rojas, Strauman, hammered to go to a Jack in the Box. He couldn't find a Jack in the Box and said he's running around barefoot, like, in people's backyards. And then, other guys like, DeAndre Baker, he's trying to be like the 5th member of Onyx. Like, what's the matter with these guys? Like, you're playing in the NFL, man. Like, you would think you would just, like, do the right thing and work hard. And, man, this could be like a career for you, man. Like, I can't imagine, like, giving up, like, or trying to cheat the way out of that dream, man. That's crazy to even think about.
The pressure that these guys must go through when they get, like, to the cusp of realizing this dream has got to be just enormous. I'm in sales. Like, I go to someone's house, there's pressure on me to sell. I got to pay a mortgage. You know what I mean? I can't imagine from when you're 6, 7 years old, pretty much every decision you make falls back on what's in the best interest of my potential NFL career. And every day from 6, 7 years old, all the way up until you're in your, early 20s, then you get drafted first overall, then all of a sudden, everything falls apart. You get injured, you get, go to a different team, get injured, can't get on the field. You can see how it would take a lot of kind of mental fortitude almost not to take on any kind of performance-enhancing drugs, especially that these guys they're not scientists themselves, bro. They get somebody in their ear, oh, listen, it's not going to come up. It's okay. And, they're desperate and, they end up making a mistake that, I mean, fuck the 6 games. I mean, the guy's not even on the roster. So he'd be happy to play 6 games and forget about being suspended for 6 games next season. But this might spell the end of his career. So the matter of a few short years, he went from.
I mean, I think look, if he does the right thing and gets himself in shape and stays in shape, you never know. There's injuries, all types of crazy things happen. 6 weeks ain't that much. He might sign somewhere. Even to a practice squad. In week 7 or 8 of the season, like that always happens.
Yeah, it's a black mark against him, though. That's all I mean. He hasn't proven it in 5 years, whatever it's been, 4 or 5 years, and then to have this on top of it, I'm not saying that kid's gonna be on the street. I'm just saying it's sad.
Well, and it's funny for whatever reason, and this is more of a positive note, right? For whatever reason, Dante Pettis popped into my head when I seen this because, like, literally, we kind of got the two of these guys the same sort of way, right? Dante Pettis came under like with that unrestricted free agents, all that kind of stuff, and we got him later on. And, here's another guy picked in the first round, bigger receiver, and he had some plays for us a little bit here and there down the stretch. I mean, that's a dude that, like, look, he's in the final year of his rookie contract. If the Giants do end up keeping him on the team, which I don't see why they wouldn't, he's only going to be about 770 or so against the cap, right? That's a guy to keep just keep an eye on. I'm not saying he's going to step up. I know we still should probably go and get that true number 1 receiver, but he's a guy that could hang around. And listen, when you're in that last year of your rookie contract, you want to play your ass off. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to step up to the point where he literally becomes like the number 2 receiver somehow, but I could easily see him being number 3 on this team, even possibly if we do go and sign or draft that number 1 wide receiver at some point in the season, depending on what he does during this offseason, how he builds himself, how he trains, how he goes after it. If he really learns this playbook and says, look, this is my one last shot I have here to really be a star, he could go after it. I don't know. It's just a name to keep in the back of the head because, like I said, it's still way too early to really get into this kind of conversation to break things down.
It all depends on, like, if we have a training camp, an official off season, like a legit off season,
right?
If we get there, so we can understand how these guys, could possibly be an impact on our team.
Definitely.
But anyway, like other news around the NFL, I know John's gonna get a little crazy about this. Deshaun Watson. There's been rumors about him possibly being a Giant because Giants Twitter just goes fucking nuts. I mean, Giants social media as a whole, they go nuts. Every time a guy's like a free agent or wants to get traded or like, we had a thing with Mark Ingram today. Like, he got cut by Baltimore. All of a sudden, Giant fans, we're going to get him. We're going to cut Gallman because Mark Ingram, his dad played for the Giants for like 4 years as a wide receiver. Like, all right, stop it. Calm down. Deshaun Watson as a Giants, like, there's no way we're trading for Deshaun Watson. If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be the Jets. They got the draft capital. They could actually give them, the 3rd pick or the 2nd pick, whatever the Jets have. So they could actually get Sam Darnold to go to, Houston. They could draft Justin Fields. So they're going to have 2 quarterbacks to go to Houston to see which one's better. Deshaun Watson could go to the Jets. Maybe that could be a move. But the Giants, John, what do you think, man? To the Giants, that's not happening.
It's just so ridiculous. So you're going to take on a quarterback right now that is already getting his big contract. He's already getting paid top dollar. So we already know when team's goal is to set up a team and get a young quarterback and try to win while he's on his rookie deal. Well, you'd be trading that luxury in for, albeit a great quarterback. He can't ever not want to show him watch on your team. Right. But you're talking about probably giving up this pick, 1st round pick this year, probably 2nd round pick this year, definitely at least 1 or 2 more 1st round picks. You're mortgaging your entire next 3-4 years of getting your possible top talent. Not only are you doing that because of the salary cap, you're also probably going to lose either one or both of Dalvin Tomlinson and Leonard Williams. So you're subtracting from your offense, you're subtracting from your defense. Yep. And you're subtracting from your potential in the future for what is a good quarterback, but we're just not in a position. I don't think, this is going to sound crazy, but I don't think that the drop off from Deshaun Watson to Daniel Jones is that much of a difference where you trade away your entire other franchise to get there. I just don't see that being the case.
I like the confidence.
John, I kind of agree with you right there too, man. Like, first off, like with the NFL, the way it's formatted, like with the quarterback getting this kind of money, like to be honest, they should have some kind of like franchise guy where the quarterback gets paid because all the quarterbacks get paid that are good. They get paid an enormous amount of money. It should not count against the cap. They should just have like that as your franchise guy. It doesn't go against the cap. You pay him whatever you want. You move on with the rest of your team. That's how I believe. But Deshaun Watson, I've seen him ball, and I don't see him being the guy that can make the big plays. I just don't see it, man. I mean, I've watched a lot of games. He's been impressive, but I mean, you're right. The comparison between him and Jones is not really that far off.
Oh gosh!
Like I watched a lot of games. I know.
All right, I gotta jump in there. It's like, come on, guys. I love Daniel Jones, and yes, I hope the future is bright. But to say there's not that much of a drop off, guys, come on, man. It's a little crazy there. I mean, listen. The reality is this, and John, you touched on a little bit of it too. Is that yes, we would 100% say goodbye to Leonard Williams. We say goodbye to Dalvin Tomlinson. That's a guarantee. We can't afford it because you're literally taking on a massive contract. In addition to that, we'd be giving up a bunch of draft picks, right? So, I don't care who it is. I don't even care if we were Washington and we were in the same kind of situation where, Alex Smith is our starting quarterback. It doesn't make sense just to take on all of that. Not when you're building this young team like the Giants currently are. You don't want to have to put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak, for this one guy. He's very good. He's super talented, but then he comes over here and then what? He's still throwing to the same guys that Daniel Jones is throwing to, right? So you can't even build around him like you were going to, like you might be able to. And that's where some things are going to come into play where yes, fine. Maybe he doesn't throw, 30 plus touchdowns and whatnot, but I don't see him regressing as far down as Daniel Jones. There would be a difference, but I still don't see it being that difference maker. You want to stay with the team that you're currently building. For example, why would you not keep Wayne Gallman, right? Wayne Gallman's going to be like $1 million at most, maybe a little bit more, 1.2. I don't see him. If he gets any more than that, God bless Wayne, good luck, whoever more money than that per year, right? You keep him on instead of Mark Ingram, who's 31. I mean, come on, man. You don't want to keep bringing in these old guys to keep playing. And Mike, you nailed it. If there's a team that's really seriously in position, it's the Jets, right? They give up their second pick, sure, but now you get Deshaun Watson. They have plenty of cap space. They can afford to pay Watson what he has to be paid. And then even if they went as far as saying, okay, we'll give up a first round this year, next year, maybe even the next year after, right? They had gotten all those pieces together with Jamal Adams trade where they have all these first round picks. They have 2 this year. They have 2 next year. And if I'm not mistaken, they have, if not 2 the following year, they definitely have 2 in the second round. And they have all that set up. So yeah, I mean, if there's a team to talk about that can seriously pull this off, it's the New York Jets. They are set up really well, unless Miami just gets super lucky and they're like, okay, we'll give you your pick back and you can take third.
I don't think they're allowed to do that.
Yeah, I know, right? No backsies.
No backsies. Yeah, I honestly in the NFL, I don't think you're allowed to trade back the draft pick if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure. I mean, but you're right. I mean, literally, that's what you've been doing. All right, so we'll take him and we'll give you a pick back.
Right. Even though Tua sucks, man. Listen, I don't think Tua's gonna get better in his third year. I called it last year. I'm like, Tua's fucking garbage, but whatever, man.
And listen, it's funny you say too, right? Because there's been a few people that just try to be dumb and they'll just throw stupid criticism at the Giants and be like, oh my God, you passed on Herbert. I'm like, yeah, and so did Miami. Right. And they needed a quarterback and knew they were going for. And so, yeah, what does that tell you?
We liked him the year before. If he came out, he would have been drafted by us, or we would have tried to get him. So, you need to fucking calm down.
Yeah, we weren't in position to draft Herbert. We had picked a quarterback the year before. Teams don't do that. It happened one single time in NFL history that you had a team draft a quarterback, in the top 3 picks 2 years in a row, or top 5 picks 2 years in a row. That's not something that happens. We weren't in a position to do that. And frankly, Daniel Jones is coming off of one of the better rookie seasons that have ever happened with the number of touchdowns and big plays that he had. Mm-hmm. So it definitely was not something that we were looking at. I know that they were interested in Justin Herbert. He decided to go back to school, but I don't think that we got left with our pants down there. I think we got ourselves a good quarterback to begin with.
Plus we drafted Andrew Thomas, and that dude played with a bum ankle the entire year. Nobody ever heard a peep about that.
Yep. No, I'm glad you brought that up.
That's crazy. In training camp, he hurt his ankle, and he played the entire year with a bum-ass ankle going against these top-notch defensive ends, going against him every week, and he didn't say shit. He got criticism for a couple bad games. Maybe that shit was really killing him, but that dude had surgery, so it was a problem during the year if he had surgery on it. And that dude still played, and he still played pretty good at a lot of a lot of times during the year. So I think we might have to build a tackle.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and it's a great point because you said, like, all we talked about was how he improved, right? Each year got better and better and better. So did he get healthier and healthier and start fitting into the system a little bit more? I mean, that's all going to come out this off season, right? We're going to really find out, like, okay, was it really just that he wasn't 100%? So here you are basically throwing a rookie left tackle into the Wolves right there and being like, oh, you're not even 100% healthy. Oh, you didn't even have an off season. Oh, you got to learn a whole new playbook and everything. All right, good luck. Don't worry, you can handle this shit. Oh, right. And you're in New York where the media is just relentless, where you got like social media that'll just blow you up. Yeah, all right. You know what? Maybe hats off to the kid. We'll see. Like, next year, I hope he blows up and like he gives up no sacks. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be fantastic.
Because worse,
imagine 0 sacks, bro. That would be fucking something else. I mean, he might have been more than injured. Maybe he was hurt the whole season, and as time went on, he was able to get better, even in spite of being in pain, playing through pain, and that's why you saw his progression through the course of the season. And now that he got whatever he had taken care of, hopefully he comes back and no sophomore slump, and he gives up fucking 0 sacks. One thing underrated about Andy Thomas,
I know I sounded like Mike there, right?
One thing about Andy Thomas that never gets talked about. There's 2 parts of an offense, 2 different ways to move the ball. There's passing, and then also there's running, rushing the ball. And he was a phenomenal, not good, not okay, not serviceable, a phenomenal run blocker, basically from the start of the season. Our run plays were getting blown up in the beginning of the season was because they were rushing more guys than we had blockers. So you had free runners basically 40, 50, 60% of the time that they were running the ball. But just from him as a run blocker, he did excellent. So it should be fun with him leading the way for our boy Saquon Barkley next year.
No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. That remains to be seen. We shall see. I mean, it's tough to sort of grade running plays, right? Like, you can't, unless a guy like just flat out misses a block. Like, there's no way to tell you where that assignment was because tackles down block, they go for the linebacker. Sometimes they're pulling all the way outside on for a corner, right? So like, yeah, there's no way to grade that, but like, you gotta go back, start looking at some of the old games if you want, and kind of focus in on him, especially that second half of the season when Wayne, you have Wayne Gallman running for almost 100 yards every game, right? I mean, give me a break. But no, we should sign Mark Ingram.
Giants Twitter, Giants social media is the fucking worst, bro. It's like everybody
man. It's never a dull moment.
It's dull moment. It's dull people, maybe more so than dull moments. It's crazy.
I thought 10 years ago we were gonna get Peyton Manning and have Eli Manning play quarterback for the Giants. That's how crazy it was. These fucking guys are nuts. But more around the NFL because we like to talk about the NFL. But I got to talk about this because I was listening to like sports radio like this morning, like on the way to work. And this is not about football, but I'll tie it into football.
Oh boy,
it's about the New York Mets GM. All right, and dude, it's just a great story. Like, if you guys haven't heard about this, like the Mets GM, like they just recently got, he was in Chicago Cubs organization. And, he got fired already because he sent a picture of his junk to a woman reporter back in like 2016. So like, listen, I know that's bad, but like all these guys, like during like the morning shows I was listening to, like ESPN, I tuned into like the Fan, and they were saying, oh God, it's deplorable. It's despicable actions to send pictures of your junk. And I'm like, just fucking stop being like little bitches. Just fucking say how it is, okay? Like you never sent the dick pic to anybody. Like, have you never been on like so? Like, I'm sorry. Like you went to you fell in love with your high school sweetheart and you married her and you didn't send a dick pic. It's fucking crazy, man. These guys are so like proper. They putting themselves on pedestal. Oh, it's disgusting. It's deplorable. Like, listen. We had Brett, like, first of all, this Mets GM, like, when he worked for the Cubs, like, dude, it was pretty bad because he sent like like 65 straight text messages to this poor woman, and she didn't respond to one of them. And like, sprinkled in, was like, some dick pics here and there. Like he was sprinkling dick pics like it was like smiley emojis. That's pretty fucking crazy. There's a way to do it. Like if you're talking to a girl, she's responding like, "Yo, what's up, girl? Like, what are you doing tonight?" It's like, "Oh, nothing, whatever." It's like, "Oh, whatever. You feeling good?" Like blah blah blah. She's getting into you. It's like, "What are you doing?" Like, "I'm feeling good." Like, "What about you?" "Oh, I'm fucking feeling hot right now." Like, then all of a sudden, like, she's like, "Oh, you get, you feeling you want me, blah, blah, blah." Then you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I do want you." And then you want to see, how fucking good I feel. Then you send a dick pic, okay?
Right.
That's the proper way to do it. Like, you ask permission. You know what I mean? You don't text a girl like, "Hey, what are you doing tonight? You home, whatever." You say, and the girl responds like, "I'm just home, just baking some muffins." You don't immediately send a dick pic. All right, that's fucking wrong. It's fucking obnoxious. You know what I mean?
Or if you send like 60 messages and you're still not getting any attention, right? Like at that point, what are you doing, bro? Like just move on. Like obviously there's something like nothing there. Like next, all right, keep it moving. Maybe remember in Fight Club when Brad Pitt like edited in like every once in a while dick pics like in the middle of like Mickey Mouse. Maybe he was trying to do that. Like, all right, I'm trying to get your attention. Boom, there's a dick pic.
That's right,
true, bro.
You don't send you don't bring a banana to that situation and expect everything to be peaches. You know what I'm saying? It's just that it's not gonna work out for you in the fucking long run. So that Mets guy, like a little bit of a fucking maniac. Like you gotta read the room, buddy. You know what I mean? But to him to get
not read.
or not read it. To him to get fired was like, I guess it's warranted. I don't know, but like it ties into like the whole Brett Favre situation. I don't know if you guys remember Brett Favre when he was on the Jets, and he was like, kind of rapid to the hostess of the Jets, which is Jen Sturgis. And I don't know if you guys know like who Jen Sturgis is. She's a hostess. She's always wearing the tight shirts. She went to college in Florida State. She was like kind of popular because, those fucking, those bazungas that she had was popping out of her shirt. She was dressed as like a cowgirl, so it was like, obviously she wanted.
Man, that's what you're talking about.
Like, obviously she wanted the attention. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, like,
you know what?
How do you go about that?
Like that came out immediately. You know what I mean? Like he sent the pics, and like within a week or so, it was out everywhere, right? Like they was reported on ESPN. It was this, that. That's what was said. Here's the thing: this guy did 4 years ago. The woman obviously ignored him, right? Like didn't pay attention to it. At one point, she just must have been like, "All right, what the fuck does this dude keep sending me?" Looks, says, "Oh my God, it's a penis," right? And then said, "Okay, fuck it, I don't care. It's not the first penis I've ever seen. This guy's an asshole. I'm never gonna talk to him again." And moved on. And now all of a sudden, 4 years later, this shit's coming out, and it's like, all right, the dude, maybe he's an idiot, he's hammered. Who the fuck knows what he did? Maybe he should go to rehab instead of fucking going to like lose his career and shit over it. Like who the hell knows? Like I'm sure he wasn't sending them things sober.
Yeah, there's no doubt. If he said it's sober, you got a problem.
In the mess office in the GM room, and he was like, "Yo, check this shit out," because then we might have an issue. Then he's got other kind of problems,
But at least Jen, Sturgis, when she was at Florida State, like she was putting it out there. You know what I mean? Those things look like, those bazungas look like they were exploding. Like she was like Bruce Banner, like turning green into the Incredible Hulk. I mean, it was just fucking, it was just nuts. If you got to just Google Jen Sturgis at Florida State, like I'm telling you, look, it's worth the research. You know what I mean?
Yeah, type her name into Google. I just did. That's why I said, "Oh yeah, that's."
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it says right on the front page.
It's just
60 messages in a row, bro. And that how
65. I mean, either that's dedication or it's just crazy.
No, like, dude, I wouldn't even want to like send 60 texts to like a friend of mine. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like if it got over to that point where that person's just ignoring me, I'd be like, all right, go fuck yourself. Like, maybe 20, I don't know.
Well, if you like, Jesus, 62 times in a row, it'd be extreme. Like 62. Yeah, I want to know how. I gotta know how over how long this was. Was this over like a 3-year period? Was this over 2 weeks? Not that it changes anything at all.
Night.
Yeah, it was 65 straight texts like, "Yo, you up?"
Yeah. You up? Cause I am.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm always the one.
Yo, he must be the love.
Yeah, and the culture that we're living in now, the Mets had no choice; they have to fire him. There's just nothing you can do, especially with new ownership there.
Well, yeah,
bro, that should be around for 4 years. I don't know. I feel like that sometimes is like ESPN and these other sports outlets. They're holding on to these bombshell stories that way. They can kind of play the card when they want to play it. Yeah. So they get this guy as an executive. Okay, maybe he ends up turning into a GM someday, and then oh my God, it turns into a New York GM, and they couldn't even wait a month, and the guys are just burning a hole in their pocket for 4 years, and they dropped the bomb. Guy lost his job, rightfully so. It is what it is. Listen, you send an unsolicited dick pics. It is what it is. Like, it's kind of it's an obnoxious thing to do, obviously.
Of course,
but that's more of like where it's like, bro, 62 in a row, 65 in a row, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think three, maybe 4 if she's an absolute smoke show. But that's it. You're getting into the double digits, you're probably already getting on like restraining order territory. You get into the 60s, like it's jail cell time. That's really all it comes down to. It's straight up.
I heard it was like 30 dick pics out of the 65 text messages. Like, just a little.
I mean, that's the ridiculous of it, right? Like at a certain point, you just gotta stop. It's like stop, enough. You got better things to do, no?
Right. At least Brett Favre knew what he was doing. He was like, "Oh, I gotta fucking try to get this girl. Like, she's hot. She's doing all these crazy things. Like, but this poor girl, like the woman reporter, I don't even know who she was, but like obviously she didn't want that. I'm surprised she didn't try to block him. She just like I hear stop. You know what I mean? But nope, my man just kept going. What a lunatic. Like that's crazy.
Real. Like usually that's when you get the block in there, or like account deleted, like however it was going on.
Yeah, I feel bad. I actually feel bad, but like then I at the other end of the spectrum when I was like on the dating apps like on like Tinder, Plenty of Fish, all that bullshit. When I was getting titty pictures, I was excited. I was like, hooray! Like everything's looking up. You know what I mean? Like even they were unwarranted. Like sometimes I didn't want them, and I still got them. I was like, you know what? I'm okay with it. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is in life.
Yeah, we're definitely wired different. I think unsolicited pictures of any kind coming the other way is, usually is met with a smile. But I don't know if you guys know this, but the male penis isn't exactly an aesthetically pleasing thing. So I get it.
You ever been
it's crazy.
Ever been in the men's locker room at the gym? It's fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
You gotta have blinders on at all times. It's like, no, don't turn. Damn it, I turned.
I almost want to wear those little rings that the dogs wear after surgery so I don't have to look down by accident. Like sometimes these dudes are just having conversations about like, hey, I just bowled a fucking 89 and fucking bowling, and they're like talking to a guy like, what are you doing, man? Just wrap a towel around your waist and just get the fuck out of there.
Like, I'm waiting for them. Like, you never know. Maybe they'll start plugging it. They'll be like, yo, so I just manscaped. Look how good this shit looks, bro. Then I'd be like, not that I would look, but you're like, okay, I can understand the conversation that's going on to my right here, but
you just saved 20%. You just saved 20%. Yeah. I saved 20%.
Did you use the brawl code?
I use the brawl code. Holy shit.
Like, because then it kind of makes a little sense. Like, all right, this makes sense. Or if you're like 75, 80 years old, like more like 80, and you just fucking walking around the locker room, like, yo, first of all, you still going to the gym, hats off there, and you don't give a fuck. Fuck it, I won't give a fuck at 80 either.
Right. So your ball sack is going below your knees.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. What do you care? He's like, fuck off. This is what I do. He goes, I just sent the dick pic out.
It's just
AARP fucking envelope that they send you when you finally qualify. There's some type of restriction in there that you can no longer wear towels in the gym. I don't know what it is. 65 is just free balling. I'm gonna order a couple Manscaped shirts and hang out at the gym and just pass them out.
It
let them go to one of those retiree communities with Manscaped and just go door to door selling them.
That's it, man. That's what's at.
That's our next salesman job, is fucking doing that gig.
Yeah.
I wonder how it is like in the women's locker room. Is it just chaos? Is it just nakedness? Like I don't see them being totally naked. I see them covering up everything and just like, you know.
I don't know. That's not how I see it.
That's not how I fantasize about it. I don't fantasize that way, Jules. I just expect that in reality. You know what I'm saying?
According to every movie ever.
Yeah, right. Well, if it's like the movies.
Right. So it is like the movies in there. And you have pillow fights in there too?
All the action. Jeez Louise.
Listen, I know we went off the rails of that, but I had to get that out, man. That's just fucking crazy.
It's just always crazy, but like it just doesn't end. It just doesn't end. Like you would think at this point, guys would use their heads a little bit more. No pun intended, but you know.
No, that's pun intended. Exactly. Like just like calm the fuck down, man. You're on tape now. Everybody's with camera phones and people like recording you. Like calm the fuck down. Stop acting.
Unless it's like the way you described it earlier, where it's just like that whole breakdown, and it was like, so I got the green light, right?
Right. Like, can I
100%? Can you go first? I'll go second.
Right. Like, you know, you kind of get the feeling like when it's okay and when it's not. Like God, these people are just, I don't know if they're crazy horny or whatever the fuck it is. Like, calm the fuck down, man. Relax.
Oh man.
Well, people are animals, so that's one thing.
Of course.
Well,
listen, guys. I mean, look, we got our picks in there, right? So we're set with that, right? Swing it back to football for a quick moment here. You know, like I said, it looks like it's me versus the rest of the podcast this week. So get your things in. I want to hear some votes, you know, if you want. Like, I want to hear your opinion, you know, get some Super Bowl picks in there. Hit us up, DM us, hit us up at AOL, you know, Giants Brawl at AOL. Hit us up on Facebook. That page is up and running, full go now again. Yo, there's plenty of places to hit us up, man. Of course, if you want to come at us individually, just no dick pics, though. But you can find Jay Depot at New NYG Slab Parade. You can find Mike Trainer at Mike Trainer MFT and myself, Jules, at Jules NYC. I think that about wraps up the show this week. We'll get back at you next week. Peace.